climate has become unpredictable, one thing we can count on is nice spring weather, and with it, more sun, and more opportunities to get outside. The sun is so important because it helps people get outside, and even provides a renewable energy source. Remember how dark it was during the eclipse? Without the sun, plants wouldn't be able to survive, and neither would we. As climate change gets worse, it's important to look to renewable sources of energy, such as the sun, and also consider alternative forms of transportation. But how can we utilize this source of energy and light? One solution would be concentrated solar power. What is concentrated solar power, and how does it work? There are many different designs of concentrated solar power systems. These include linear concentrating systems, solar power towers, and solar dishes or solar engine systems. These systems all work on the same principles. Concentrated solar power works by using mirrors to concentrate and reflect sunlight onto a receiver. The concentrated sunlight energy heats a high temperature fluid in the receiver. The hot fluid in the receiver heats water in a heat exchanger, which is a device used to transfer heat from one medium to another, making the water turn to steam. The steam is guided to a turbine. The steam spins the turbine, spinning a generator, and the generator creates electricity. Why does concentrated solar power combat climate change? Generating electricity and heat at power plants requires the burning of fossil fuels such as coal, oil, or gas. The production of electricity and heat are the largest contributors to global greenhouse gas emissions. Concentrated solar power is a renewable energy source that converts sunlight into heat. If concentrated solar power is used instead of burning fossil fuels, there would be no air pollution or greenhouse gases produced while they are operating, thus completely cutting out the world's biggest contributor to global greenhouse gas emissions. The Ivanpah Solar Electric Generating System creates 392 megawatts of electricity annually, which is enough electricity to power 100,000 homes. This big amount of electricity created by Ivanpah eliminates 500,000 metric tons of CO2 from our environment as well. Why is concentrated solar power such a great solution? Concentrated solar power is clean energy, and the only real byproduct is waste heat, which can be used for purposes like water desalination. Heat from concentrated solar power can be stored in molten salt or oil, making it operate at a lower cost than lithium batteries. Concentrated solar power energy can be used when it's most needed because the heat from concentrated solar energy can be stored. This is a valuable element when compared to wind energy, which relies on the wind blowing to generate electricity, or solar photovoltaic technology, which is a technology that converts sunlight directly into electricity. This technology relies on the sun to be shining to operate. Concentrated solar power is more efficient in locations with more than 2.5 megawatt hours per square meter per year of sunlight. This means locations like southwestern US, Central and South America, Northern and Southern Africa, the Mediterranean countries of Europe, the Near and Middle East, Iran, and the desert plains of India, Pakistan, the former Soviet Union, China, and Australia. Not only can concentrated solar power be used to generate electricity, but it can also be used to deliver heat to different industrial applications like enhanced oil recovery, food processing, chemical production, and mineral processing. A couple ways we can contribute to the success of concentrated solar power are donating to concentrated solar power projects, educating ourselves further on concentrated solar power, and seeking careers working with or designing concentrated solar power systems. Another solution for combating climate change are walkable cities. But what are they and how do they work? Walkable cities work by designing and retrofitting urban environments to decrease the need for driving and motivate walking as the mode of transportation. The 7 key factors of walkability include demand, demographics, density, design, destination, distance, and diversity. Increasing the walkability of cities does not just rely on the manageable distances between point A and point B. The walkability of cities mostly relies on the walk appeal from the density of fellow walkers, the mix of real estate and land uses, and the captivating designs of walk paths. Infrastructure for walkability can include the density of homes, workplaces, and other spaces, wide, well-lit, tree-lined sidewalks and walkways, safe and direct pedestrian crossings, and connectivity with mass transit. How do walkable cities combat climate change? The transportation sector, including cars, vans, and light-duty trucks, are responsible for 27% of greenhouse gas emissions in Canada. Residents in walkable cities drive 20 to 40% less. If cities keep developing walkable city infrastructure while encouraging walking and transit-oriented development in 15-minute cities, which are communities where people can travel no more than 15 minutes to access key amenities, stay a trend, by 2050, we could cut atmospheric carbon dioxide by 2.92 gigatons. Why are walkable cities such a great solution? Not only do walkable cities slow down carbon dioxide production by lessening driving, but they also save costs associated with car ownership by 3.18 to 3.94 trillion US dollars. Walkable cities have many great effects other than the environmental effects they have. These include encourages active living, improves happiness. Research shows that walking raises endorphin levels, lowers stress-related cortisol, and helps people sleep better. Reduces obesity and chronic disease. Walking burns 4 calories a minute. Regular strolls reduce the risk of disease such as type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and colon cancer. Promotes social interactions. Minimizes the risk of road accidents. Vancouver is rated the most walkable city in Canada consistently, and Vancouver is ranked the 24th most walkable city in the world. How we can help. Instead of driving, try walking to your destination if possible. Let community leaders or city leaders know how much you like current walking infrastructure and persuade them to create more. After reviewing these 2 solutions, I have found it is possible to cut down a large portion of CO2 emissions by using concentrated solar power as an energy source and creating walkable cities. If we don't make such changes within a couple of decades, by 2050, the average daytime summer temperature will increase by 3.7 degrees Celsius, in turn causing a warmer atmosphere, higher sea levels, precipitation pattern changes, and more acidic oceans. We are already beginning to see how this is impacting us. If you look at BC's climate warming, the more frequent and severe floods, unpredictable weather, and less snowpack and early melting of the snowpack. Instead of watching these events unfold, we can make the choice to be proactive and use alternative sources of energy.